So, of course, this is what you've all been waiting for. Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Assassinated.
Assassinated, if you want to use that
Assassinated.
term. I mean, it was politically motivated, so technically you could use the word assassinated. At the Utah Valley University in front of a crowd that included his wife and 2 of his children.
He only has 2 children.
Oh,
Wait, were they in the crowd?
yes.
Oh my goodness.
Thankfully, they worked fast. They found the guy.
Within 2 days.
22-year-old Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk through the neck with a .30 caliber bolt-action rifle.
30-06.
Well, yeah, if you want to get specific. And I will. It's called the Mauser 98.
I was doing it for the nerds like Tommy out there, all right?
Yeah, someone's got to fill Tommy's role in this. They don't know exactly where he shot from yet. They're still trying to figure that out, but it was probably...
I think they know the roof, though,
It was
right?
probably less than 150 is what they're thinking. Which explains it. It would be an easy shot for someone untrained to make. Probably why he was...
I think, for somebody who's never used a gun, no, you definitely couldn't. But if you know how to use a gun, yes, you can.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he definitely did. We know that for a fact that, he'd been hunting and stuff. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
To ease the conspiracy theorists, it didn't have to be
Not like
a
a crazy
professional.
shot.
It didn't have to be someone trained. But actually, it was his father who turned him in. I commend his balls.
Yes, they said family, friend, and father turned him in because his father consulted with their minister before he turned him in. So
Well,
they're crediting him for some reason. All right.
What
I
do
said
you think about
minister,
this?
so I don't know what.
They don't understand making sure you're right with God first, so they wouldn't get it.
Well, yeah, I completely understand. That's a horribly tough decision you
Yeah,
have
it's a
to
horrible
make.
decision.
Turn your
Horrible.
son in, who most definitely will face the death penalty.
Right.
That's a crazy
thing to have to
decision you have to make. Yeah.
Oh, did you see
bullet
the
casings.
original news outlets and what they posted about the engravings? It was very broad. It was like social terms or social or cultural
Right.
terms or culture. It was something
They're like,
very
"Hey,
broad,
he's
not
mean."
specific at all.
There's still people
Yeah, and then-
trying to say that he was a right winger.
Crowder, he had a guy on the inside. I think it was ATF or something. He got an internal email document and posted that out on the description of all of the weapon that was used and everything like that, and the engravings that were actually on it.
Like, hey, fascist, catch.
Yeah. and then the media were like, okay, well, yes, that was engraved on there. My bad.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. We see what you're doing.
Well, MSNBC should have their broadcast license revoked for what they said. They said, "Oh, we don't know what it is. It's probably just one of his fans shooting his gun in the air, in celebration." Like, really?
Right. That's how
Really,
that
you
works.
guys?
Dude,
You don't say that when you don't know the full story. You just say he's been shot. We don't know what's going on. That's all you have to say. You don't have to say, probably one of his right-wing fans.
Could be anything.
Like, yeah, you should face some kind of consequence for spreading that kind of lie.
But the only other one that was kind of important was the one that had Bella Ciao written on it, reference to an Italian song that they used to sing at the Nazis. So kind of trying to imply that Kirk was a Nazi, which is what all of the heartless people on social media have been saying.
Like, I hadn't really watched a whole lot of his videos before this, but he had been on Benny Johnson all the time, so I definitely knew who he was. It's like, why'd you guys kill the freaking nice guy. Like that wasn't smart.
He is like the best, most kosher,
Yeah, I mean, he was just ridiculously
nice
patient.
conservative.
He was patient and respectful on a level that I am not capable of. And yet he got shot in order to be silenced. And somehow he's the fascist? Like, that is textbook fascist behavior.
Yeah, I mean, in killing him,
Like
his
that-
message is just
Yeah,
amplified
you just
so
made him,
much.
That
you
is,
just made him stronger. You made him the talk of the nation.
It's a horrible strategic assassination. Kirk is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Pretty much.
And it's like, if you could just be, like, shot for voicing your opinion, that's a terrible precedence to set. And the amount of people, it's a disappointing amount of people who were fine with such a terrible thing happening. Like, literally people that I know were
Yikes.
posting the most callous things on Facebook. Like, there was this one which seemed to be, which started out okay, being like, okay, I didn't agree with him, but he didn't deserve to die. And I was like, oh, that's really nice, and I kind of skimmed it because it was a long paragraph. And then I got to the end, and it was like, well, I'm just sad he didn't live to see his rhetoric defeated. And it was like, okay, wait. you almost had it there, and then that sounded pretty spiteful. That sounded pretty bad.
Yeah,
That was not good, actually. But it's just amazing the way that the propaganda has worked. Because one of the big thing that's being shared around is his quote on empathy, and it's just being taken wildly out of context. Because he says that empathy has been bad for the nation, but then, just immediately goes like, compassion is the real thing. Because, like, you feel empathy for people, but, like, you might feel empathy for someone going to prison, but it's your compassion that you have for the victim that keeps you sticking to justice anyway. You can feel sorry for people, but it's not good to let that control you, is essentially what he was saying.
Right.
And so all we're doing now is turning into an argument of terminology. Like, who cares what he said about empathy if he was championing love and compassion?
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to justify why he got assassinated, which is
right.
stupid.
You're saying,
It's
it's good that it was good that he was silenced because he was spreading all this stuff, and you're gonna take something that he said
this is
once
ludicrous.
wildly out of context, and that's gonna be your rallying cry. Like, that doesn't work, but it actually does work, unfortunately, because everyone believes it. They don't investigate any further, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
the amount
it just-
of smart people who I've seen take that at face value.
But I mean, it really just outs themselves and how evil they are. Just un-American, evil people. They should be ostracized from their communities because of how heinous their, comments are. It's just,
And
it is very
and
informative.
it's funny that they keep saying that, like, he deserved. Like, I literally saw a post from someone I know. This is the most disappointing one I saw. Was that he deserved to die because he was a Nazi. That rhetoric is exactly what got him killed. This is why we're having this conversation. In the first place.
This is not even...
Like, why are you perpetuating this? This is why this is happening. Like, do you not care about life? Is it not important to you? And also, it's completely unsubstantiated that he held any belief that had anything to do with the Nazis at all.
He was like the most milquetoast man.
Completely wrong.
This
He
is why I
was.
think mainstream media should face consequences for the rhetoric they've been
It's
pushing,
like-
because this is what they're pushing. Call him a Nazi, that rationalizes it, because you can kill a Nazi.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm gonna say something controversial here. I don't think that does justify it. Like, to me, Nazis are just like these, like, cartoonishly evil stooges who I enjoy.
Gets their faces melt off.
Yeah, watching them get their faces melted off and watching them get punched and run over, and because they're Nazis, they're awful guys.
Yes.
If you're professing that you're a Nazi and you're an American who's professing this, I think you're disgusting, and I don't want to listen.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
I
wanna
mean, you
listen
can
to
have
you.
that opinion.
But I mean, it's a free country. You can have that opinion. It sucks to have
Now,
our
you might not be
to have our freedom of
not-
speech. We have to allow those things. Like, as long as they're
might
not
not be allowed to manage the showers, but
well.
I mean,
okay.
that's a given.
Like, to forfeit your freedom of speech, you have to be actively rallying people to violence or encouraging the death of someone, or
Yeah,
there
you
has
have to be infringing
someone,
on other people's rights.
right? So if you're marching around Charlottesville carrying the Nazi flag, I think you're a terrible you're doing a terrible thing. But that if you're staying in your lane, that's your right, and you don't necessarily deserve to die. Because here,
Yeah, people wave communist flags all the time.
yeah,
They-
got posters of the most terrible people in their dorm rooms and on their t-shirts.
Yeah, they have T-shirts of Castro, and it's just Mao and all this. You know how many
It's
people
horrible.
they've killed in their ideology?
mass
It's just
murderers.
right. And do we go around doing all that to those people? No. It's just we don't imprison them or anything. It's the same thing.
And
It's like even the worst thing that you can label somebody, they still have a right to life
right.
and due
They
process.
still have a right to have bad thoughts. We have a right to having bad opinions. We just do. And
Right.
even more so, not even just what rights you might have in America. I mean, let's talk morality. Even in morally speaking, that person has a right to live, because guess what? That person who's professing to be a Nazi is another human being who has the capacity to be wrong and who has a chance at redemption.
Right.
Because we've all lived lives that we've turned away from. We've all done bad things that we regret and do not endorse. That's why I was careful with my wording earlier, is that, like, if someone's marching around with a Nazi flag, I think I'm not saying that you're a horrible person. I think you're doing a horrible thing. You're doing something horrible, but I'm not going to say you're a horrible person. I don't know if there's hope for you. Like, I think what you're doing is terrible, but you're in no way deserving of death.
Yeah,
Just
well, these people
because-
don't think like that.
Just because you're
So
an
I
idiot.
think they need to be kicked out of the U.S. personally.
So whether you're thinking of this from like an American rights perspective, or a human rights perspective, or a moral perspective, it's just absurd to say that he deserved to die. It's beyond the pale. There's just no justification for it. There's nothing that works. Even if all the lies are true, they're all saying, "Oh, he said gay people should be stoned and he hated gay people." Even if that was true, he still doesn't deserve to die. He was just some guy who was
Some dude.
very nice and patient with people.
It's just this guy,
And we
Just
have
this
an
guy.
incredible amount of video evidence that shows that he definitely did not hate gay people. And he was patient, loving, and respectful, even when they would not afford him the same thing.
Well, these people are really lucky that the people they're pushing up against are, have standards and virtues and things that we have to accountable for.
I'm happy for the most part that the people they're pushing up against have had restraint. And have held back, despite being the angriest I've ever seen the internet in my lifetime. This is angrier than when Trump got shot.
We're back.
And yet they showed restraint, and there wasn't looting, there wasn't mass riots. No, you know what there was? Mass prayers, candlelight prayers across the country. That's what we got.
There's no rational thought.
Yeah, essentially you're just saying that a man deserved to die because you didn't like him on a personal level.
Yeah, basically that's what they're saying. Whenever they are labeling him that, that's what they're saying.
Actually, you're disgusting. That's the truth, actually.
Just call them out for it, and don't associate with them because they're just
Yep.
deplorable people.
I mean, this is just like proof of how horribly cesspoolish colleges have become. That a guy totally grew up with a normie family, right-leaning family, can just start to veer off at the end of high school and then go full force into lefty territory in college. Yeah,
The
just
gay furry
people were pulling
pipeline.
out his mom's Facebook post, totally normal, right-leaning. Guy even had a Donald Trump Halloween costume. Went hunting. His dad is like a 27-year like law enforcement or something.
Just to go and shoot a guy who cares enough to have a discussion with you. And you know, I think it's funny that people are using this moment to talk about gun control. And it's like, you really don't get it, do you? First of all,
It was a hunting rifle.
Yeah, first of all, it's a
Freaking
freaking
morons.
hunting rifle. You know,
Bolt action.
You could 3D print one of these easy if you wanted. Second of all, actually, this is why we need to take away the stigma for guns. Because when people have a lot of guns, they're afraid.
Mutually assured destruction.
Yeah, they don't do things like this because they're afraid of the consequences. All the places with the most gun violence and gun death are all the places with the strictest gun control laws. How about that? That's pretty interesting.
That's crazy.
And if
there's a famous Western figure called Wyatt Earp, who actually ended a lot of gun battles by not firing anything because he would intimidate them. They'd be like, "I'm gonna shoot you," and he's like, "Yeah, go ahead, do it, do it,
do it right now.
Let's see how fast you hit the floor before you hit that trigger."
Yeah, try it, idiot. Because I mean, there are countries where the gun per capita is, the same or close to America's, and they don't have the mass shootings. And when they do, it's usually just a shootout with police. People hear about the shootout, and they don't want to do that because that's the consequence. If everybody's got a gun, everyone around you's got a gun, it turns into a shootout. It's the great equalizer.
It's so dumb, bro.
This boy did this because he
weakest
felt like he
arguments
could get away
ever.
with it.
It's not because he was mentally disturbed at all. I mean, come on. Oh, he just, he got a hold of that gun, and the gun told him to, get that milk toast conservative.
I mean, he could be crazy, but I don't think you have to be crazy to kill someone. I don't believe that. I mean,
he is a gay furry, so
I believe in evil. I mean, look at all the countries that have more or less banned guns. And
they have mass stabbings and rapes.
Like England or Canada, which both countries have a crazy amount of stabbings, and wouldn't you know it, the bad guys still have guns because.
And the women get raped a lot more because they don't have guns.
Right, exactly. It's the worst. So no. Charlie getting shot while talking about guns is
not
the irony that
British
you think
people.
It is. It just proves this.
I'm pretty sure British people can still have hunting rifles.
Yes, they can.
So I just, even with all of the gun control in the world, you don't have the right to protect yourself. You can still get a hunting rifle, a bolt action hunting rifle, which then you can use to do things.
The other thing is they're trying to say that old Charlie boy was a racist. Yet again, for the same reasons as before, still doesn't mean that he deserves to die. But it's just another thing that's taken out of context. So what he said, and I admit that he could have phrased this better, and it was probably kind of unhelpful to say this. He was trying to say it for
50% of violent crime.
He was trying to say this for the shock value. That was why he phrased it the way that he did. I admit that was probably not the smartest thing in the world. But in context, He's not wrong, and he only says it because he cares. He only said it because he cared. So what he said was, and this is the part that people take out of context, is that black people were better off as slaves and servants because they weren't out committing crimes and going to prison all the time. Which,
I mean,
that's a pretty severe thing to say. That's pretty serious. That is not how I would have worded that. But if you hear it in the context of what he was saying, and he was trying to be shocking, so mission accomplished. But what he was saying was not necessarily saying that, slavery is better and that's what it should be. Obviously, you look around at his friends, he wasn't racist. He didn't believe that. What he was saying was that there's like a problem in these impoverished black communities that really needs to change, and that there's a bad culture of encouraging those bad habits, which we see through the media, especially music, more than anything. So we all know.
Yeah,
we all know it's true. We don't say it, but we all know it's true.
Closer, back when slavery was abolished and whatever, I feel like the nuclear family was very important to black people. I don't know, their culture was a lot more unifying and, supportive and, trying to get on your feet and all this stuff.
I think
and now it's just self-destructive. So I think that's probably what he was pointing to.
No, that's definitely it, because he's saying this because he cares, because he doesn't want to see prisons full of black people. That's crazy. No one wants to see that. Everyone wants everybody to be happy and in harmony. I think it would be more accurate to say is, not necessarily pointing out slavery, but like they were better off before, like, the whole civil rights movement. That just
like the modern day.
Like, it was good that we addressed that, and the government was like, oh, okay, we'll fix that right away. But then they just, like, these
kind of lost something there.
Communist
in the weeds.
bad actors, plants like Rosa Parks, just went and exacerbated problems that were already being worked on and being fixed, and just created this decades-long racial tension that we didn't need.
And then we have governmental dependencies.
And then everyone got separated, and we had three-letter agencies giving the hood drugs, and
giving the youngins.
There was a huge number of mistakes that happened.
The meth.
And it's like, if we clean up those areas, we make an example of criminals, and we have institutions for the violent schizophrenics to stay in. Like, you're gonna clean up those streets.
Clean up the streets.
And once you've done that, you put money into renovating the area. You make it nice. You give people a sense of self-respect they didn't have before. Like, there are things that can be done. And so it's funny to call Charlie racist for saying those things, because that's all he wanted, was for that problem to be fixed, really.
He was a racist, therefore he deserved to be
gunned
down
and on top
in front of his family.
Like, these quotes that they're taking out of context, none of those things, the things with the empathy or anything else, these weren't like something that he campaigned on or said frequently or spread around. It wasn't like, none of those things were the focus of his message. And so they're nitpicking, they're cherry picking all these little things to take out of context. And so it's like, it's good that he's silenced because he said such and such. It was like, yeah, but he said it one time. So even if he did say what you're claiming that he said, like, we're allowed to say stupid things every once in a while. We're allowed to be wrong every once in a while. Like, he deserves to die for being a human being who makes mistakes. Are you freaking kidding me? That's insanity.
Yeah, but I mean, there
And
is
it's
no
amazing that
redemption
people can
on
say
the
that
left.
so
There's no
flippantly. Like, I understand
second
I
chances or
understand that
anything.
they're like brainwashed into thinking these things and that they don't look into these quotes further, and the average person is not doing their research. But even so, this is like a human being. It's a life.
Yeah, this is the most like non-nuanced ape brain.
Like, I think, like, I can't even. I'm trying to think of like an equitable example. I can't because the left does not have people who sit around and talk nicely.
There is no equal to these.
Yeah,
Like,
they just got
there's no equivalent to Charlie Kirk on the left at all. But like, I guess I'll just pick someone of influence. Like, I think Michelle Obama is a terrible influence. She pretends to be a health guru,
To be a woman.
and all of her ideas are actually stupid. But if she died, I'm not gonna dance about it tomorrow.
You mean if he died?
Okay, that's besides the point.
You don't need to talk about the ooh bulge that she may or may not
if
have.
it was Bernie Sanders,
Oh, well.
Kamala Harris,
Kamala.
I mean,
Kamala.
Joe Biden, anyone. I don't
She
care.
likes the pee-pee.
I guess Hillary Clinton would be the
She's a hoe.
most accurate because she's the one that annoys me the most. Even then, I would be like, well, like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't even celebrate Kamala's death. I mean, because she's so stupid. She couldn't have done anything.
And I mean, that's the difference. Is we're analyzing these people and we're giving them the benefit of the doubt. We're not assuming
we're
that
like
they're
going
some
through their
evil monster because they have differing opinions.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give you. Call you monster for having a different opinion, but I'm not gonna give you the benefit of the doubt anymore when you say what you are or what you're. Because like at this point, it's like a kid said he disagrees with Charlie Kirk and he should be killed, and then he did it. Like I'm not giving you the benefit of the doubt anymore. I mean, I think I'm like when people tell you what they are, believe them. Yeah, I'm beyond it, but I'm not gonna kill you for having a different opinion.
Right, and I'm sick of the people who are just limp-wristed and apologetic about saying he didn't deserve to die. Even those are always like, well, Aram, of course I didn't agree with him. And it's like, no, you don't need a disclaimer for this. Like, this used to be an assumed thing. We're all individuals. None of us agree with each other 100%. I'm not going to stand here and go, oh boy, it's sad that Charlie Kirk died. Of course I didn't always agree with him. Like, what? Who? Of course I didn't. Of course I didn't. It's a stupid thing to say. It's a stupid thing to point out. And
well,
on top
you didn't
of it
agree
all,
with everything he said,
right? And on top of it all, he's dead. What does it matter? You don't need to apologize for being sad he's dead. Like, if I'm at your funeral, Micah, I'm gonna be like, oh my goodness.
About time.
I know he was kind of a racist Nazi, but
I mean, he didn't really deserve to die.
Yeah, I'm sorry that he's dead, but also just know that I wasn't that affiliated with him.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
I guess it's just like appealing to the mob of people so they don't get incinerated.
But it's absurd because it's like this fear is what emboldens morons like Tyler Robinson to go shooting guys who talk at college campuses. We can't empower those people. We can't give them a single inch. You can't be afraid to come on this podcast and say that furries are gross. You can't do that. Because you give them an inch, they take a mile. They're setting up their hunting rifle on the opposite building.
You can't appease the furries.
No, can't be done.
Go full force.
So don't do it. You have to stand up for what you believe in, even if you're gonna die. Because if you're not willing to die for it, then what does it even mean?
Yeah, as I said, I'm okay with
What does
being
it
a
mean?
martyr for my country and my faith.
Right.
That's okay with me.
So be it.
Behold, Braveheart up in this shit.
Right?
Absolutely.
Exactly. You can't take our
Braveheart,
freedom.
Jesus. I mean,
Try it.
Jesus.
Just try it.
I mean, Jesus died for his beliefs. They killed him because
He was
basically same reasons.
basically the same reason, because he was touring around having kind discussions with people. Yeah.
What's Holy Sin? Mercy, forgiveness,
and
salvation?
they didn't,
I-
and they
we
couldn't
can't have
argue
that.
with him, so they killed him.
Yeah, I mean, there's a beautiful symmetry there. All but one of the apostles, was executed. And
Yeah.
they would get crucified upside down or sideways if crucifixion was the means, because they didn't want to go out like Jesus. Thought it would be disrespectful, which is
That's
amazing.
crazy.
They're getting killed for the same reasons, and they're like, please, no. I still don't have anywhere near the greatness of the one who did it first. I think Charlie Kirk would agree. Obviously, he didn't
Yep.
want to be taken so soon. Nobody did, but not the worst way to go out.
No,
So
definitely
at
not.
least there's that. It's pretty metal.
It's pretty
It's,
bad.
it's pretty baller.
It's pretty metal.
Yeah. I mean, it's all of this like reminds me of scripture that somebody brought up in Bible study. That's pretty poignant about this. It's 1 John 3:13-15. It says, "Do not be surprised, brothers, that the world hates you. We know that we have passed out of death into life because we love the brothers. Whoever does not love abides in death, and everyone who hates his brother is a murderer. And you know that no murderer has eternal life in him." An obvious way that for you to know where your allegiance lies.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We know where Charlie Kirk's allegiance lies. World hated him and wanted him dead, and so they killed him. Murderers. Murderers have no place in the kingdom
Yep,
of
the
light.
gay furry's gonna get firing squatted. He's gonna be in hell.
I was saying something to that effect the other day. I was talking with Davis about it. I don't think he really agreed with me, but basically I was saying that this is a terrible thing, but it was a great reminder for me, because it's very easy to get comfortable with people, and I think it's really, I mean, it's not fun, but it's really, I think, healthy to have a
I parkoured my way up here.
reminder
Sweet.
that
Hell yeah.
have a reminder that you don't belong here. The Bible tells us that all the time. That
Yeah.
we are, I think it's, which prophet is it? I think you were there when we were studying Micah, who talked about, I think it's Peter maybe, who talked about us being nomads, basically, because Christians don't belong anywhere, and that's easy to forget, especially in America, where we have so many freedoms, and it's comparatively a polite society. It's very easy to forget that. It's easy to become comfortable and get up, like these people. Like, it's good to have a reminder that these people who I love and who I work with would turn on me on a dime if they really knew who I was and what I believed. And how quick it would be. And how thoughtless it would be. Like, it's incredibly sad. I mean, it's depressing as hell, but it's good to have that reminder, because that drives you back to Christ.
Right.
You know? I was like, oh, I need to read my Bible today. I'm not kidding. You know, I love these people, and I should, you know, continue to, like, be a friend and be a good, like, Christianly example, and, you know, wait for those opportunities to talk about Christ. But it's good to remember that I don't belong there at all. I don't belong with those people. And it's a temporary thing that's going to be, you know, very disappointing later.
Yeah, you're like Patrick when he comes back and looks under his rock, and there's like 10 fish under his. Yeah, you're just like, who are you people? That's it right there.
What do you mean this nice man deserves to die? What are you talking about?
What are you saying?
How can you all be so casual
It's
about
like,
this?
oh, you are full of sin and evilness.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly. It's good to have that reminder of, yeah, I love you. I think you're great to be around, and you're funny, but yeah, you really are evil. You are evil at heart. Humans are evil at heart.
Like, this is not good.
Our first inclination is always evil.
Evil.
That's where our thoughts are. Fortunately, we can be saved from that.
I mean, yeah, I think the one positive thing, if anything else, would be his messenger is gonna get to a lot more people because of this.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
and I mean that kind of just echoes to what we're talking about with all the disciples and Jesus and stuff like that.
Right.
So
I hope it emboldens people. It has just the opposite effect. And there's more people just going out and being willing to talk and just being nice and not so much caring about how terrible people are going to be.
right. Did you see the they flew his body back to his home
Yep.
state in Air Force
Air Force
2,
Two.
and GD Vance was like,
He's one of the pole bearers.
Yeah.
He was a close friend of his.
I was like, damn, bro, that's crazy.
Yeah, talk about having friends in high places.
Wow. I hope that JD Vance
Dude is
gets to be
lucky. A
president.
sitting vice president gets to be your pole bearer.
And like,
Oof.
holy.
That's awesome.
I'm glad that they afforded him that respect. That was a good. It's a good show of strength.
Oh, and you can't hate the media enough because they were saying, "Oh, JD Vance ditches 9/11. What do you call it? Memorial thing event in New York," and like, yeah, because he was doing it for his friend's funeral.
His friend died.
Just,
Like, yeah, everybody knows how bad 9/11 was, but I think everybody is, you know, can understand leaving an event for your friend's funeral. Absolutely. Like, you can't hate the mainstream media enough.
You really can't.
That they'd say that.
Just the worst bunch of liars.
Like, these are the people who perpetuated this event happening.
Right, if it wasn't for the literally Hitler, literally Nazis rhetoric and propaganda, this would not have happened.
Yeah, you can't hit him enough.
It's so annoying for them to take the power away from those terms and make them casual things. It's just diabolical. Like that, like those things really mean something. Really mean something significant, something serious.
Thanks for coming out tonight. I got a question for you real quick. Up until about 5 years ago when gay marriage was legalized nationwide, the conservative movement has been explicitly pro-traditional family. Now, both you and your organization advocate for the acceptance of anti-Christian, immoral lifestyles like homosexuality and transsexuality, going as far to invite drag queens like Lady MAGA to your events. It seems to me and anyone who's paying attention that conservatives just believe whatever liberals believed 5 years ago. Right now, there's a push by the left to normalize pedophilia by way of child drag queen shows and... Oh, excuse me. Phone shut off.
Go back to your notes. That's probably where you saved it. You know, you gotta like push double tap and then go over.
Right now, there is a push by the left to normalize pedophilia by way of child drag queen shows and rebranding pedophiles as minor attracted persons. 5 years from now, will you be promoting child drag queen shows? Will child abuse become part of the conservative platform?
Boy, that's a slippery slope fallacy if I've ever seen one. First of all, I've never invited a drag queen to come to any Turning Point USA event. I was at Politicon, and an individual by the name of Lady Maga came up, and I took a picture, and she walked away. Secondly, let me ask you a question. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, sir.
So are you a proud Trump supporter?
Of course.
So are you sickened that he had a gay man speak at his convention?
Yes.
Then you're not a Trump supporter, my friend. Thank you very much. Let me ask you another question. Should he return the money of Peter Thiel, an openly gay man who supports his campaign?
No, if it helps him strategically,
okay.
sure he can.
Should he stop talking to Tammy Bruce, who's an open lesbian that's a Fox News contributor?
If it's affecting his ideas, then probably, yeah.
Okay, so you say you're a Trump supporter, yet you have all these issues and these disagreements with him. Let me be very clear about my position. My personal position. I'm a Christian first and foremost, then an American, then a constitutionalist, then a conservative. In that order. I believe marriage, biblically, if we want to have a biblical and theological discussion as articulated in the greatest book ever to exist in the history of the world, the Holy Bible. Marriage in the Holy Bible is one man, one woman. I also do not believe in the sort of rhetoric that some people engage in, that all of a sudden that they say there's no place for gay people in the conservative movement. I do not believe that. And let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question then?
Sure, go for it.
So, the American family, liberty, freedom, the Constitution, our history, veterans, that's what we're conserving. I'll get to you later, though, don't worry. So let me ask you a question. What if you had your way, what would you do with gay people in America?
What would I do with them? I wouldn't.
Yeah, because they're not allowed in the conservative movement. So would you just kick them out anytime they show up at a Republican Party? If you were in charge, like what would you say? You can't be part of the Republican Party.
If somebody is advocating for being openly homosexual, yeah, they should not be part of the conservative movement.
So I just want to go through the list. Guy Benson, no place in the conservative movement. Dave Rubin, no place in the conservative movement. Peter Thiel, no place in the conservative movement. So that just to go down the list.
If they're supporting open homosexuality.
So I'm going to ask a very respectful question, as respectfully as I can. What does what they do in their private life concern you so much that you have to go up in front of a crowd and...
It is against God. That is
so let me ask you a question.
Are you a Christian or not?
Do we live in a theocracy, yes or no? No, do we live in a theocracy?
You said you're a Christian.
I am a Christian. And do you know what? And guess what? I will say this. Part of being a Christian is appropriately interpreting what the theological says for the individual, but also means to be long-suffering and patient and loving and kind. Jesus Christ talked to all people. Jesus Christ went and did his ministry through Judea and Samaria, and he had dinner with tax collectors, and he had dinner with prostitutes, and he did his ministry in every part of the Mediterranean. What it means to be a Christian, my friend, is to be open-minded but firm in your beliefs, so you can have that belief. But if you say there's something inherently wrong with communicating or associating just because they make different personal decisions than you, sir, are not a conservative. Thanks for being here tonight.
So
Don't worry, we got plenty of cameras, but yeah.
But yes, so you do not hate the LGBT community, and Turning Point is not against LGBT.
No, how could I hate that which I have a heart for?
Thank you.
And I might not agree at that for some of the lifestyle choices that some people
there
make,
you go.
but of course not. And if someone said, Charlie, what's your view on marriage? I say, I believe marriage is between one man and one woman. But if you ask me,
these
what,
people have
do
no
I
ground to
have
stand
hate in
on.
my heart for somebody that doesn't
No,
choose
no,
the
not at
lifestyle
all.
that I
All the
believe that God
labels.
laid out in the scriptures, of course not. So
all the lies
pathetic.
they said, all the things that he allegedly said could not possibly be true.